All right, number 5 on the notes. Number 5 asks you to find the next perfect number after the number 6. A perfect number is a number where the sum of all the factors except for itself add up to the number. So you could try a few things. Let's say you want to guess the number 20. Well, we're going to list the factors of 20. We've got 1 times 20, 2 times 10, 4 times 5. So if we list those as factors, we got 1, 2, 4, 5, 10, and 20. All right, let's add these up and see if it works. 1 plus 2, oh, you don't include the number itself. So we'd add up these without the number itself. So let me rewrite that. I'll put this back here so you can see all the factors. Then I'll write it so you can see what you should be doing in your head to see if this is a perfect number. So we're going to add 1 plus 2, which is 3, plus 4 is 7, plus 5 is 12, plus 10 is 22. So is 22 equal to 20? No. So let's go, you could keep guessing a bunch of them, but I'm going to tell you that it's 28. So we're going to list the factors of 28. We've got 1 times 28, 2 times 14, and 4 times 7. So when we list all our factors, we have 1, 2, 4, 7, 14, and 28. Okay, we need to see if all of these, except the number itself, add up to equal 28. 1 plus 2 plus 4 plus 7 plus 14. Okay, we've got 1 plus 2, which is 3, plus 4, which is 7, plus another 7 is 14, and 14 plus 14 is 28. So in this case, yes, they do equal, the sum of the factors does equal the number itself. Now this problem is definitely a tricky one, and there's not really a short way around it, a short way to solve it or a short way to come to the number. So this is something that will not be on your test. It was more just a practiced, a mindset that your book wanted you to practice. And really, perfect numbers are few and far between, and there actually aren't very many that are very small. Most of them have 19, 37, 54, 65 digits in them. You can look it up online to see what the list of perfect numbers are, and they're not very many. But I will tell you, they always end in a 6 or an 8, so that may help if you do come across a question that asks you to find a perfect number. But you shouldn't have to do this type of problem once again. All right, thank you. All right, number 6. Number 6 says Sonia knits 10 squares a day for 7 days. Can she sew together the squares to make 5 equal-sized blankets? So each day, I listed days 1 through 10, she knits 7 squares. The total amount of squares would be 70 squares. Okay, if we could add them all up, or you could know that 10 times 7 is going to give you 70. And they want to know, can she make 5 equal-sized blankets? Basically, is this divisible by 5? Can we split all of these 70 tiles into 5 groups? Well, you can look at the number 70, and it ends with a 0. We learned that any number that ends with a 0 or 5 is divisible by 5. So, yes, 70 is divisible by 5. So if you do the long division, you can figure out that how many times 5 goes into 70. So 70 divided by 5, 5 goes into 7 one time. 5 times 1 is 5, 7 minus 5 is 2. Bring down your 0, 20. 5 times 4 is 20. 20 minus 20 is 0. So 14. 5 goes into 70 14 times. So that means that 5 times 14 is 70. 5 is a factor, and 14 is a factor. They're both factors of 70. So your answer to this problem is simply yes, because 7 times 10 equals 70, and 5 is a factor of 70. So if she wanted to make 5 equal blankets, then she would use 14 squares per blanket. All right, number 7. Julianne earned $296 working at a grocery store last week. She earns $8 per hour. How many hours did Julianne work? So you know what her total was for the week, and you know how much she gets paid per hour. So you just have to figure out how many hours she worked using these numbers. So you're going to divide the total amount that she got paid by how much they pay her each hour. And then through doing that, you'll come up, your answer will be how many hours she worked that week. So 8, can 8 go into 2? 2's in the hundreds place. Can you divide 2 hundreds into 8 groups? No. So we need to regroup. Now we've got 29 tens. Can 29 tens be divided into 8 groups? Yes, they can. 8 times 3 is 24. So we put a 3 up here in the tens place. 8 times 3 is 24. Then you're going to subtract. 29 minus 24 is 5. Okay, you're going to carry down your 6. 56. Okay, we now have 56 ones. 7 times 8 is 56. So we put a 7 in the ones place. 7 times 8 is 56. 56 minus 56 is 0. So our answer is 37. So the answer to the problem is Julianne worked 37 hours. All right, number 8. Number 8 says there are 266 students watching a play in the auditorium. So the total number of students, equals 266. So there's 266 students watching a play. There are 10 rows with 20 students in each row. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, we've got 10 rows, and 20 students. Okay, there are 20 students in each of these 10 rows. How many students would that be total? You would do 20 times 10 equals 200 students. Okay, so you do 20 times 10 to get 200 students total in this section. Then it says there are 5 rows with 8 students in each row. So we know that the next section is 5 rows. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 rows, 8 students per row. How many total students would be in that section? Well, you do the same type of math. 8 times 5. 5 times 8. So let's do 8 times 5, which is 40. So you know there are 40 students in that section. Okay? Then it says how many students are sitting in each of the 2 remaining rows if each of those rows has an equal number of students. So it says there are 2 remaining rows. So you know that your last group is 2 rows. 2 rows. But you don't know how many students in each row. You just know that it has the same number of students, okay? The number in this top row is the same as the number in this row. So now what you have to do is you have to figure out what your unknown is. Well, you know that the total, including these 2 rows, is 266, because they told us that in the problem. So you're going to take your total, 266, minus what you do know. How many do you know? Well, let's look back here. We know we have 200 students in this section, and we know we have 40 in this section, so we have to add 200 plus 40, which gives us 240. So we know right now we have 240. So we're going to subtract 240 from the total, including the unknown section. 6 minus 0 is 6. 6 minus 4 is 2. 2 minus 2 is 0. So we're left with 26 students. There are 26 students in this section. Well, we know this section is 2 rows, and we know that they have to have the same number of students in each row. So it couldn't be like 6 students in this row and 20 students in this row, because that wouldn't be the same number of students in each row. So what we need to do is take the number 26 and divide it by 2, okay, the number of rows that we have, to get our answer. So 26 divided by 2 is going to tell us how many students are in each row. If you don't know off the top of your head what 26 is divided by 2, then you can use your long division. So 26 divided by 2, 2 goes into 2 one time, 2 times 1 is 2, 2 minus 2 is 0, bring down your 6, 2 goes into 6 3 times, 2 times 3 is 6, subtract 6 minus 6 is 0. So we're left with 13 without a remainder. So 26 divided by 2 equals 13. So that means that there are 13 students in each row. So the answer is 13 students.